Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. I'm your gracious host, Solomon Jones, and we're here with Spiritual Logic. And today we had a different show set up, and we will still do that show. We're going to be talking about, No Fap, Semen Retention, and some of the other things that are not popular to talk about in regards to that topic. And we'll get more into that into detail. But first, I want to talk about this breaking news in regards to Mr. Chadwick Boseman, dead at 43 from colon cancer. And let me tell you guys this, man. 2020 Spiritual Logic just has not been it, bro. I'm over this year.
Yeah, you're right, bro. Very much.
The crazy part, Logic, is I have a feeling that 2021 is probably not going to be better than 2020, actually. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer, but, it's just we're headed to a dark path, man.
Yeah, you got to be objective in the reality that we're living in. I mean, it's so many things that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge in terms of, what the real agenda is. So I'll just leave it at that. Right.
Okay. So let's take a look here. And most of you know he was from, he's been in movies like 42, Avengers. That's where I first saw him, and I thought he did a fantastic job playing T'Challa. Black Panthers as well. So let's get straight into this.
James Brown.
Yeah, 42. That's the movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, the iconic Black Panther star, has died at age 43 after a 4-year battle with colon cancer. His family released a statement saying, "It is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it the last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. Now, here's the thing. I didn't even know he had this, man. So he must have kept this on the low.
Well, I heard something. Like, I saw that he lost a lot of weight. I don't know if it wasn't a tabloid, but somebody said that he's looking pretty bad. He lost a lot of weight because, he buffed up for Black Panther, and they saw him like on a balcony. He was looking sick, man. I thought it was like he was training for a movie or something, but I guess not.
Yeah, if you look at the picture right here, you can just tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people were saying it was a movie, and I remember seeing this because people lose or gain weight all the time for movie roles, right?
Yeah.
But to me, like when I saw the picture, this is the picture that I saw back in April. I mean, he looks like you can tell he's sick. I mean,
Yeah, that's a dramatic. I mean, you talking. He was losing fat in places that you don't lose fat, like around the circle, around your eyes and your head, the top of your head. That's a different type of weight loss.
Let me continue reading. And I mean, if you remember Avengers, no, it wasn't Avengers. It was Civil War, right? What year did Civil War come out? Did that come out 2014, I believe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know.
So when Civil War came out, right? And he's in the movie, you could tell he was in great shape.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really good. And then in End Game, if you compare his like physique from Civil War to End Game, Avengers End Game, you could tell like he wasn't as
cut and buff.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let me continue reading. They continue. It was an honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. He died in his home with his wife and family by his side. Chadwick, who most famously brought the first Black Marvel superhero to life in Black Panther, along with a string of Avenger movies, was no stranger to giving life to iconic roles. He portrayed Jackie Robinson. Oh, he did do James Brown. Okay, I didn't know that. James Brown and Thurgood Marshall and Marshall. And here's the crazy thing, y'all. He was only 43, man.
That is crazy. You put it in perspective to us.
Yeah, us cats in our 30s, like he's not that old, and he's still very, was looking young. And here's a video of him that had people worried. And it's just kind of like, Logic, when you look at what's going on, Kobe passed earlier this year, and I remember very well because it was my birthday weekend, and I was in Miami, and it couldn't have happened at a worse time because, shout out to Fresh Prince CEO. I see him in the chat. we were getting, a bit lit up. And then, people started saying, oh, Kobe's dead. And we thought people were trolling,
Right.
because that's the last place you want to hear about somebody dying as well. You're having fun at a bar and stuff like that. But it's like, dang, man. Dang. Also, shout out to Ike. Shout out to Ike, man, with the $52 donation to Ike, man. Bless you for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's appreciated. I didn't play the 52 today, though. This is not a 52 type episode. You know what I'm saying? Logic. But Ike, I definitely got you next time. Yeah, I definitely got Ike next time on the 52 song. Born in South Carolina, he always had an affinity for theater and wrote his first play in high school. He attended the famous predominantly Black college, Howard University, and graduated with a bachelor's degree in fine arts. He started his career in writing and directing, but clearly he was meant to be on the other side of the camera. He took the world by storm in 2013 in the role of Jackie Robinson in 42. On playing that role, Chadwick said, that story is relevant because we still stand on his shoulders. He started something. I would even say maybe he didn't even start it. It started before him, but he carried the torch, and he carried it alone for a period of time before other people could help him. Clearly, he forwarded the narrative of that. He moved on to play one of the most influential roles of this generation, the portrayal of T'Challa, Black Panther. Now, I'm going to say this. I like Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. Logic. I think he played a heck of a job. But, and I know I'll probably get some heat for this, but I didn't care for the plot of Black Panther. I thought it was kind of predictable. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
But that doesn't take away from what he did with the role. You know what I mean? Because to me, he was very believable as T'Challa.
Yeah. He played the role.
Fake Nigerian accent and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he played it well. I mean, I can't take his acting has always been pretty good. So
yeah, and I mean, it's kind of like, like this hits, close, because as some of you guys know, I did the Wakanda Forever prank, right? For those who've seen that video. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like he made it fly in that movie to kind of, say Wakanda Forever and rock a daishiki for me to be in the street like that,
Right.
I hadn't rocked the daishiki in a minute.
Yeah, man.
The impact he had on Hollywood, while too short, was phenomenal. He hosted SNL in a very memorable episode and was slated to star in Black Panther 2, which was meant to be released in 2022. Okay, so that's the article.
Who's going to play in Black Panther now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they'll worry about it at this very moment, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably look into it. Look, I'm not going to get into any conspiracies here. I know a lot of people like to do that. They get into these conspiracies with no actual, factual backup or any sources. But if this guy, what they're saying is if he died of, is it colon cancer or the colon cancer, right?
Yeah, colon cancer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about it. Spiritual logic. Is that like, hereditary? Is that, I'm not very familiar with it. Do you know anything about that type of cancer, bro? Or
cancers are basically when your cells are replicating abnormally, usually because you have chronic inflammation or toxicity in your body. And for me, the understanding of cancer is that your body is not detoxing. Your body is chronically inflamed. It's a lot of issues. The issues are debatable, whether it's diet, environment, combination of both. Hereditary thing, I'm kind of on the fence about that, because that's the narrative the medical industry pushes, but it's a convenient narrative to make people, not look at the true causes like their nutrition and their environments.
Okay. And like I said, I'm not very familiar with it, guys, so please don't flame me. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, which is obvious. But, I'm just reading through WebMD here real quick. And basically, I mean, usually they say it's sometimes treatable by surgery alone, but stage 3, I mean, he's pretty advanced then at that point, isn't he? Or
Yeah, I
right
mean,
when they diagnosed it in 2016.
well, anything with your digestive tract is a huge issue because it affects your absorption of food and your expulsion of waste. You cannot function. They say 90% of your immune system is in your digestive system in your gut, and there's even a connection between the gut and the brain. There's the vagus nerve and all that stuff, so it gets really deep.
Mm, yeah, and it's just it's just like I'm just looking at this here, and it's just unfortunate. I think this is also I guess we could talk about this how important it is right now for people to um, be as healthy as possible. I've been talking about the food shortage. Me and Logic actually for the last we started talking about that about almost a year ago,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Look, we no longer conspiracy theorists because what we've been talking about is actually happening, and we've said it, before people actually, when it wasn't happening, and now people saying that everything we're talking is coming to pass. We're not prophets. We're trusting in the book of prophecy. It's a difference.
Right. And what I was going to go into and say, it's very important to watch your diet, people. Make sure that you're eating healthy because now the food they're trying to poison us. And even me, like I went to the grocery store, man, and I was stocking up on healthy foods. I got some nuts, I got a lot of water, man. Facts, a lot of water,
Yeah.
and just to try to cook more from home because um obviously, Logic, you've been following me on Instagram, bro.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah, yeah,
happened during COVID was like with me, we just locked like just at home
yeah,
so
yeah.
much that as soon as they let us go, like this whole summer virtually, you've been eating out every weekend, you know what I'm saying? And right now, I mean, it's very important. I mean, I don't know, how if this is preventable or anything. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with this type of cancer, and I'm not even going to pretend to know. But I do know with us folks, particularly, here in the with us black men, we're more adverse to these type of
Yeah.
health type issues. High blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer, certain type of cancer. And for me right now, I was telling Logic off behind the scenes, like, I'm trying to get a lot healthier because I was doing very well in COVID, and then the summer hit, and then everything that I built up towards, kind of went out the window. So
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. We gotta, luckily, you get back on track and you push, you keep pushing, man.
yeah,
Your body has a memory. When you started routines, your body, people believe in muscle memory, but your body has a memory. So as long as you don't allow that time off to be too long, you can kick right back into that pretty quickly.
okay. Shout out to Karen Jackson. She says it is hereditary. My dad had stage 4 colon cancer. Most people don't make it out alive. My daddy did. 6'4", always skinny. Okay. Um, Somebody says colon cancer can happen when someone is slowly poisoned over time. Yeah. Let's talk about that logic. I mean, what right now? What would you recommend for people to prepare themselves to be as healthy as possible with these times that we live in, bro?
Well, the first thing I would say is that you need to get your mind right. Before we get to nutrition, a lot of people are emotional eaters. A lot of people eat out of fear and anxiety. So you got, for a solo now, we have a spiritual foundation to deal with adversity, to allow us to grow and grow wiser and learn from experiences, good or bad, and in between. So a lot of people have to deal with their mind and their spirit to deal with what's going on in this world. Because if you don't have any understanding, if you don't have any place of wisdom or foundation to stand on, you're going to be an emotional eater, especially for those who lose their jobs and those who are going through. So first thing is get your mind right. And then you have to cut out processed food. People people don't realize it, but people eat sugar like crackheads use crack. Okay, every time you're low, you run the sugar for a high. People don't realize that because they don't have that foundation to deal with life issues. Whether it be if you have a woman in your life or your financial situation or your children or family or anything, self-esteem, whatever, you have to get your mind and your spirit right because a lot of people want to jump to nutrition, But a lot of people become they lack self-discipline and self-control because their environment and their mental state is controlling them more than their choices to eat better foods. But get rid of the processed stuff, man. We got to realize that the stuff that the FDA allows to put in food should be illegal, but the government is never going to tell you the whole truth, folks. The FDA allows heavy metals, toxins, toxic compounds, arsenic, glyphosate, all of these issues. Everybody heard about Monsanto with the glyphosate and all our favorite cereals we grew up in. So we was eating that garbage for years, poisoning ourselves on a cellular level for years, and we wonder why we have this outbreak of illnesses that the medical industry wants us to turn our head the other way to and think, oh, it's just something that happened to you. No, you were being poisoned by the food that the chemicals and toxins our government allows in the food and the water. Atrazine, chlorine, fluoride, all these things are toxic. Rat poison. I mean, they have stuff. Fluoride is, just do your research, folks. Really look up what they use for fluoride. I know your dentist wants to tell you, oh, it does this and that, but don't believe everything you hear. But yeah, man.
Man, it's crazy, man. Like this year has just like I'm not gonna lie, man. This year has been depressing, bro, and it's only gonna get worse. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer or anything, but it's just kind of like, man, you look at this, like Kobe died young. This guy now, I mean, they're young, man. Like Kobe was still in great shape. He could have played basketball probably in Europe. I don't know about the NBA, but
right,
still in good shape. And he was, it's crazy, guys, man. And sorry if I seem a little bit out of it. It's just kind of like, in these times, man, you think about the world a lot, man, and man, people don't have a clue, and it's kind of like now it's like, I'm not trying to sound like super duper religious or anything, but we really have to pray for the world, y'all, because we're headed into dark places, bro. And I'm not here to talk about no conspiracy theories or anything. Just look at the facts. Look at what's going on right now in the world.
Right,
look at the fact
exactly.
That Hormel Foods just came out and they said, yo, we do not have enough food for the winter. Our food supply chain can't meet the demand. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Look at what the farmers have been saying. Logic, I'm gonna go to the bathroom 1 second, man. If you want to just spin off that,
okay.
Bro.
Yeah, that's cool. And not just that. I mean, we can take the deaths of these Black rich people, actors and athletes, as a lesson to say that it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how ambitious and good your life is looking. Death can happen to you, and you have to have a foundation to accept the inevitable reality that this life is not infinite. It's very finite and it's very unpredictable. And people put all their hopes in their wealth and their ambitions, and they don't put any hope and any wisdom in the inevitable reality that none of that will help you when you're dead. And nobody really believes that this is it. People say that, oh, we're just going to turn into dust. Nobody believes that because the whole meaning of life derives from your origin and your destiny. And if both of those are nothing, then everything in between is nothing. And all your complaints and all your pain and suffering is for nothing. And nobody lives their life like they actually believe that. We all live our lives like this. Everything we does have some ultimate meaning. And it does, depending on what purpose and meaning you're living for. So it's sad, that the brothers that we see in the media, the guys were good. Chadwick was good with the movies, man. I mean, James Brown, he's actually, he actually nailed that role pretty good. And it's hard to do James Brown because he's way crazy and way talented. So you have to be very eccentric and to copy someone like James Brown and be approved by people who actually grew up in the times of James Brown. So that meant a lot. And of course, Black Panther, for all the Marvel Avengers people out there, that Black Panther was a good role to play for us. I think, the people on the Black Power took it a little bit overboard, but because there is no actual Wakanda. Just want to put that out there for all the Black people who think there's
Facts. You know what I'm
There's
saying? Facts.
but you know, I respect a movie that does put black folks in a powerful position, but let's not lose reality. Yeah,
All
man.
right. I guess we'll go into the main topic now. Logic, is that right?
Hey, let's go for it, man. I'm ready.
And I want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Please smash the like button, guys. I appreciate that. Tayokon Hanma says get fluoride free toothpaste. Tom's from Maine is one. Okay, that must be a brand. Okay. Do you get that at like an organic shop, or because I never see those at the grocery store
Yeah, I
ever?
mean, some grocery stores really depend on your area you live in. Like, you know, but Whole Foods, Yes Market, I don't know, organic stores, health food places like that typically have fluoride free and sodium lauryl sulfate free, which is basically it's a polisher, and people don't realize that it's a detergent that rips the enamel off of your teeth. They use it to polish porcelain, and they actually have that in toothpaste. And a lot of people have cavities galore because they're putting this detergent on their teeth that's stripping their enamel, and yet it's allowed in your toothpaste. So get sodium lauryl sulfate free and fluoride free toothpaste, or you can just be really good and make your own using coconut oil, baking soda, get some essential oils like peppermint oil and clove oil, something like that, and just black seed oil. I mean, you can make your own stuff. Just look it up. I mean, it's not, you actually can save money over long term making your own deodorants, making your own toothpaste, and avoid a lot of chemicals. You know?
Okay. And shout out to Aya Mawa in the chat. I see you, Mawa. How are you doing, bro? I hope all is well with you, sir. Yeah, man, this is definitely sad news, and I want to talk about this real quick. And I appreciate everybody who's here. You know what I mean? Please hit the like button, guys. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, because we're going in today. So yeah, I like this
Um,
video. We're gonna save some men's lives today.
yeah, shout out to Tycoon Hama. He says take bentonite clay and zollite clay to detoxify. Okay, bro. Yeah, shoot me an email with that, bro. Because I'm live, man. When I'm streaming, man, I don't have time to write things down. Shout out to Tycoon Hama again. He says you can get fluoride free at Rite Aid or Walgreens. Okay, yeah, we definitely have a Walgreens here. All right, cool. So let's get this is a 10 best Chadwick Boseman movies real quick, just to go over some of the movies that he's been in. Please hit the like button, guys. We have 301 people here. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about this a bit more, but then we're also gonna talk about the main topic as well, right? Logic. So let's get straight into it. Number 10 is 21 Bridges. Have you seen this one? I haven't seen that one.
Actually, I feel bad saying it, but I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
You've never seen that one? Okay.
Nah.
I seen the advertisements for that one. Okay. They talking about this is Chet Boswick's newest flick, and although only got 50%, it still makes the top 10. This action crime drama stars this brilliant actor, and he plays an NYPD detective who embarks on a citywide manhunt for a pair of criminals guilty of killing cops, part of a massive conspiracy, starting alongside Sienna Miller, J.K. Simmons. This movie will definitely give you your action fill, and we love Chadwick in a leading role that is totally badass. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 9 is Draft Day. I haven't seen this one. Oh, how did I miss this one? This movie centers around an NFL draft where general manager Sonny Weaver tries to rebuild his team. However, he has to decide what's worth sacrificing when he's considering the dreams of hundreds of young men. Kevin Costner is the manager, but Chadwick Boseman is the second leading role. You can also find Jennifer Garner in this sports drama, and it's certainly one of our favorites of the genre. Plus, we think this role suits this man quite fine. Okay, so these are 2 Chadwick Boseman movies I haven't seen, and I'm assuming, Logic, you haven't seen this one either because you were quiet. Okay, so Logic probably hasn't seen this one either.
Nah,
That's why.
I mean, yeah, I've seen some of it, but the media chooses what they want to promote and not promote. Like they promote some of his stuff on a higher platform than they do other movies. So you're not alone.
Okay. Number 8, The Express. that came in 2008. Chadwick Boseman actually finds himself in quite a few sports dramas. This one's about the real-life college story of legend Ernie Davis, who was the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy. This movie stars Rob Brown, Dennis Quaid, and Clancy Brown. Chadwick takes a secondary role as Floyd Little. However, this one was one of Chadwick's first flicks, so we certainly suggested. Plus, it's certainly a classic sports drama. Yeah, I didn't even know he's been in movies that long. But then you should never assume some random, because with these action movies, man, some of these people you never really heard of, and then they go on Marvel and they just blow up. You know,
facts.
Yeah, somebody says Black Panther franchise is dead. I don't know, Logic. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. The Replacement, man. I'm sorry, but The Replacement, it's kind of like Heath Ledger. And remember when Heath Ledger played the Joker?
Yeah.
Like, well, who's going to replace him? Johnny Depp or,
Yeah, but Joaquin Phoenix did pretty good.
Yeah, but when I say the Joker, I'm talking about more like in the Batman series, right?
Oh, I get you. But these actors can do some amazing things, man. Like Heath Ledger really played that role, and I think that he's a one of a kind for that role. So it's going to be very hard to fulfill that, because the Joker is a hard character to play. You have to be very good at being out of your mind, but making it look good.
Yeah, and I think that with him, T'Challa is such an iconic role, right? Because we remember all the hype around Black Panther. I mean, the movie was so hype. I made a prank video. You know what I'm saying? So this movie was huge, not just in the Black community, but all over the world.
Worldwide.
And I mean, whoever plays that role after him, and I'm not trying to jump the gun and talk about this, but whoever plays that role after him, bro, like that might be like career suicide for that person. You know what I'm saying? Because they're always going to compare whoever the new Black Panther is to Chadwick Boseman, and that's not going to be fair to that person whatsoever. And I'm not trying to talk that far ahead. I know this man just died, but there are a lot of people that are Black Panther fans, especially on this channel. We have a few, because, I talk a lot about action hero movies, animes, comics. That's something that, I'm known for talking about in this sector that a lot of people don't talk about. Dragon Ball Z references, Marvel references. So I don't know, Logic. You want to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man. I mean, I don't know who can replace him. He even brought a little bit of a regal attribute to the character, because he just has a certain character about him that's good to play authoritative roles. You know what I'm saying? He has that.
And he can act. He can act his ass off.
Yeah. So I mean, look, man. I'm not saying there's nobody out there can do it, but you got your work cut out for you. So just put your work in, and maybe you can, build on the foundation he's laid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. I'm your gracious host, Solomon Jones, here with my co-host today, Spiritual Logic. Breaking news, actor, icon Chadwick Boseman, who played the iconic T'Challa, Jackie Robinson, James Brown, has passed away at age 42, if I'm not mistaken. And he died of, colon cancer, stage 4. And we're just going over some of his best movie roles. We do have another topic that we originally had tended to do, but we wanted to, pay homage really quickly, going through the top 10 movie roles. And
right.
And we will continue with the main topic, of course. Number 7 is Get Up. That's the James Brown role, right?
That's my jump. Man, look, I'm a James Brown fan, y'all. So I'm sorry, man. I'm a musical person, so James Brown that's my stuff right there. I'm not gonna say this, but I have some lineage to this man.
Oh, for real?
Augusta, Georgia, man. Look, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. And let me just say this. This one is a bit different for the versatile actor. It's still a biography, but this one takes a musical turn. Chadwick Boseman takes the lead and portrays James Brown. Mm-hmm. This flick tells a story from his rise from poverty to being an infamous magician that he's known as. This role is actually impressive, and the 79% definitely nothing to sneer at. Plus, he stars alongside Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Dan Aykroyd. Oh my God, I haven't seen Dan Aykroyd in a movie in forever.
I'm telling you, and he's a legend, man. He's coming from back in the day, so you know.
Yeah. And by the way, that Logic, I haven't seen this one, but tell me about this one. What did you like about this one? Was it his portrayal of Brown, or was it the plot, or was it a little bit of everything?
Well, it's a little bit of everything because, like you said, James Brown, he came from a very like Georgia back, it was rough back in his day with his parents and with the state of black people, and to come up and be your own entrepreneur, compete with, white folks in the music industry. And let's give a shout out to the other guy that passed. What's his name? Lil Richard. He has his thing, but Lil Richard actually paved the way for James Brown to when he was first coming out, because Lil Richard was doing this thing. And they was doing that thing at a time where black folks didn't have that kind of pull. And he was very much about doing being his own manager, not working for somebody. The only thing that messed James Brown up was the IRS. But he was very like, I don't want nobody handling my money. He started that mindset about black people really getting in control of their finances and starting entrepreneurship. So I respect the man that way. And anybody that's try to mimic James Brown's moves, and, shout out to Prince and a few people and Michael Jackson and those, but the man can move in ways that you don't think he got bones in his ankles. I
Right.
mean, the man can move, and it don't matter how you look at it. The man can just do things musically, and it was his performance that really paved the way for most, if not all, of modern musicians and artists.
Yeah, and moderators, please pay attention to the chat. You guys are there to moderate as I proceed with the show. So disrespectful comments, like that one guy talking about Jamie Foxx is next. I mean, moderators, get those comments out of here. There's no tolerance for that today, because of the fact that we don't wish death on anybody. So I don't want that mess on my stream today. Number 6 is 42. Now, this one I do remember.
Yeah.
Of all the biography sports dramas, this one is definitely a favorite. Of course, it also scored the best on Rotten Tomatoes. Chadwick Boseman is Jackie Robinson, the first African-American to play in Major League Baseball. In the late 1940s, Jackie's still struggling against racism. Despite being part of the team, this movie is riveting, tragic, and totally inspiring. Plus, certainly puts the talented man on our radar. If you're flick, you're not sure you can call yourself, if you haven't seen this flick, we're not sure you can call yourself a Chadwick Boseman fan. This movie will have you on the edge of your seat, and Chadwick is sincerely phenomenal. And yeah, this is the first movie I remember seeing, and I think Jay-Z made a song, didn't he? To this movie, because this was a big movie when it came out several years ago.
Oh, he probably did. I've been dealing with my folks for a long time, so I don't catch everything, but I'm sure Jay-Z, he makes a little. If he did make a song about it, he probably rapped about it.
Yeah, yeah, this movie was huge. I remember when this movie first came out, and I thought he played a great job, and he healed his own. And then for him to, I mean, you play Jackie Robinson one year, and the next year you play James Brown. That's pretty impressive, bro.
That's
like he's
very
played
impressive.
In his short movie career. He's played these iconic characters. Jackie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
James Brown. Excuse me, Jackie Robinson, T'Challa, right. Obviously. He's played some iconic guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 5 is Marshall. This one I haven't seen. This is another biography drama, except in this one, Chadwick Boseman plays a lawyer. This movie tells the story of Thurgood Marshall during one of the go ahead, Logic.
No, I was going to say another profound black person who made it in a high position. So.
Yeah, facts. Alongside infamous career before he became the first African-American Supreme Court judge, starring along a bunch of other actors. And yeah, so this movie, I don't know. You guys in the chat, let us know which is your favorite Chadwick Boseman movie. Now, of course, Avengers Infinity War. I've seen this one.
Who hasn't?
Avengers Infinity War. look, Endgame. I'm not gonna lie, man. Endgame was kind of Endgame was kind of a letdown for me. But Infinity War, bro, I've seen that movie so many times
Yeah, it was
by
good.
myself with maybe a lady friend. I mean, Infinity War is in one of my top 25 top movies of all time.
Right.
Definitely, and the fact that there were so many iconic Marvel actors, the way that they were able to give everybody, screen time is amazing. One of the top flicks, of course, 85%. It had one of the lowest spots on Marvel movies, but I like it. I like Infinity War. Black Panther certainly proved his badass skills in the flick, and there's no question that Chadwick Boseman is the perfect for this iconic role. I mean, this is T'Challa, Ibon Bay. Ibon Bay, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like when it's crazy because when you say Ibon Bay and it's just crazy. Number 3, and this is my favorite movie that he is in, is Civil War. Like I was talking about earlier, this movie, Civil War, in my opinion, it's got to be like number 1. If we're talking about like Marvel Avenger movies, it's got to be either Civil War or the first Iron Man. That's my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but that's my opinion.
I'll go. Look, I like the first Iron Man because it really set a precedent for, I think, the Avengers. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lightbearer Console with the $5 super chat. Hey, sir, we really appreciate that, man. He said he went from sleeping on Denzel's Washington couch to an acting phenomenon. Yeah, I mean, this guy, was talented. He could act his, ass off. No, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you see the different roles he's already been in. And my favorite role, of course, is him in Civil War. He did T'Challa great in all the movies, right? But I think in Civil War, the way they brought him on, he did a great job. Just Civil War. Civil War 2 was very well written. Great, phenomenal movie in all aspects. All aspects.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 2, Avengers End Game. I don't know how I feel about Endgame, bro. I really, I don't know, man.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, it was good, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I mean, after Infinity War, they should have just kind of like, I don't know, if they ended in Infinity War where Thanos just snapped, I mean, that would have been a crazy ending, but if they would have ended like that, I wouldn't have been mad at them for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my
Infinity War was cold.
Yeah, my disappointment was how they did the Hulk. If you know anybody who's a Marvel fan knows that they really, I mean, granted, Thanos in the comic, he still dominated the Hulk, but there's different versions of the Hulk that I don't know. I think they could have just did it better. Even okay, even if he couldn't beat Thanos, he should have did better, just overall, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think that they did play the Hulk. Because they made the Hulk look weak, and then he didn't want to show up for the rest of Infinity War. And I understand why they did that, because with the Hulk there, it probably would have created it would have made the movie too easy, right? So they had to, let's handicap ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but he had the Infinity Gauntlet. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, it could have gave the Hulk a good fight, because even with he had the Infinity Gauntlet, so it's only so much you can do against that kind of power. You know what I'm saying?
Yusake of the Wildfire says Chadwick was also going to portray the Black Samurai Yusake RIP. Yeah, I mean, this brother Chadwick, he picked his roles. You can tell he wasn't just in it for the check, but he was a real legit actor. And of course, number 1 is anybody's surprise, Black Panther.
Of course.
I already said logic how I feel about Black Panther. I thought once again, Chadwick did a great job. I'm not going to take away from it. I just felt the movie, the plot left a bit. It was too predictable. And I think I don't know. Chadwick did a good job, but to me, Michael B. Jordan seemed a bit cartoonish in this movie. A bit,
They made him very immature, and because they were trying to push a social justice narrative instead of just keeping with the comics, they wanted to spin it into a social justice narrative. And they should have just kept a comic book, man. I mean, Yeah, I know people want there to be Wakanda out there with vibranium and we could take over the world and all that, but
I'm
come on
sorry,
now.
guys. I'm laughing, but you know what? It's very logic. You bring up an excellent point. Not to deviate, but it's like, why did it have to take a movie for people to be interested in Africa? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
Right, right, right,
You know?
right. Or just have, bring some order and sensibility to being a black person in an oppressive regime. I mean, like I said, if people really wanted to do something, they can start by cleaning up their own lives and having some order and stuff that people don't want to do. It's easier just to say, let's put all our hopes in a fantasy than actually do something in real life. That's why I had an issue with it.
Yeah, there was also a movie that Boswick was in that I recently saw. Um, on hold on, let me Google it. It was on Netflix, right? And
Hmm.
it's like they were playing these soldiers. Yeah, it's called The Five Bloods, and I thought he did a great job. I mean, he had a little more of a cameo role, like
Okay.
a second fiddle role. Not even second fiddle, but like he wasn't really the main guy, although it
Right.
was about him. But he was not in the movie, so I don't know, man. It's crazy. Okay, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. For the last 46 minutes, we've been talking about uh, iconic Hollywood actor Chadwick Boseman has passed away at the age of 42 from colon cancer or colon cancer. And I'm here with Spiritual Logic. We had another show planned, so we're going to go into that show now. And
All right.
let's get into that, Logic. So now we're going to get into a show which is going to be very deep and esoteric in a sense. So I know our audience from 300 is already down to 226. So
But look, it's a very big issue because it's actually very popular,
mhm.
in terms of internet searches, in terms of what's on the mind, because a lot of men are learning the hard way the power that we're giving away.
Yes. And so what Logic is referring to is we're talking about no fap and semen retention. And for those who are not familiar with no fap, basically no fap is where you abstain from watching pornography. Now, a lot of our young men and women as well are very addicted to pornography, and it has ruined a lot of people's lives or caused a lot of dysfunction and also how people view each other and the opposite sex. And one of the things also we're going to talk about is semen retention as well. Now, Logic, tell the audience, what has your experience been with, no fap or semen retention, bro?
Amazing. Um, you know, let me tell people about I can help people with their porn addiction real fast. If you think about it this way, we all love women, naked women, women being freaky. We all love that. But if you realize what porn does is porn trains you to be cucked out. Porn is training you to want a woman that's actively being laid down by another man. And it's a subconscious thing that porn does. And even when you look at, okay, porn addiction in terms of the dopamine effect of how most people when they watch porn have to click from clip to clip to clip to clip for a dopamine response, for that excited, for new excitement, and you have to do more to get the same experience. It's the same thing about it in any addiction. And so what happens is eventually your body downregulates what you get from the experience. And so when you get in real life with a woman, porn basically cripples you because you're so busy to having, these quick bursts of reactions from doing nothing until when you actually have to do something, you can't because you're just you program your body to function in a certain way. And also, if you want to take a Taoist or Taoist view, and I'm not promoting, another religion, but I'm just saying that, what they're saying is can be backed up with amount of science that I do respect, and that they believe that one drop of semen is equal to 50 drops of blood in terms of its nutritional density. So, and the same neurotransmitters that are in your brain are in your semen. So let that sink in when you're just wasting it. and what you're really losing in terms of your body's strength and your testosterone, your hormones, all that stuff, it's killing you. It's your life force. It's literally killing you. What goes into making that, there's nothing in science that can replicate what our bodies produce. They can, nothing can produce blood without having the components our body produces, and nothing can produce semen. They are very valuable fluids into the male body. And a lot of men don't realize that, premature aging, uh, what you call it, erectile dysfunction, and all these issues that men are having out here. You can see in terms of the divorce
Especially
rate.
at a young age. Yep. Some men, I mean.
Yeah, and women, I've talked to many women who say that's a topic they bring up of why they had to break off relationships. And and they're asking me, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? And it's like, m- guys don't realize that this social media, this microwave society that we're in is really to weaken you and to destabilize you from building yourself. Like, part of being a man is using the experiences and everything in life to build yourself, not to deviate to build a woman, her ego, but to build yourself as men. Men build societies. Men keep society functional. It's up to us to not get distracted or deviated to to deviate our energy to a female, to something other than ourselves, because we hold this thing together. And I mean, you could just look at, like, your strength, your energy. I mean, there are huge benefits to your health, like diseases and stuff. You're just wasting so much nutrients. Basically, your semen is basically all the nutrients and engine and makeup of your whole body condensed into a fluid to produce life. And so if you're wasting that, your body is using all these nutrients and all these things to condense it into this fluid that you can use to procreate with a woman. And so if you're wasting it, wasting it, wasting it, your body cannot replace it fast enough as you're losing it. So you're actually breaking yourself down. And the medical industry will lie to you and normalize, oh yeah, when you get over 35, your dick is just useless. That's what they want you to believe. So you can take Viagra, what else they got? Cialis and all this other stuff that's damaging to your body because it's unnaturally telling your body to do something that you're too sick to do. So eventually, it's going to completely destroy you. You're just going to be impotent, and that's a reality. You want to talk about having a bad life? You go ahead and make yourself impotent because you was just watching some hoe twerk. You'll be really mad at yourself for the rest of your life. So, I would strongly suggest that men really objectively look at what porn is. You're training yourself to want a woman that another man is having sex. I see, I was about to curse, but another another woman is having sex with. Like, you have to be careful with that. Just look at it for what it is. Take some one time, just watch yourself doing it. Be like, does this make sense? Because I understand. I love women. I love sex. I love naked women. I mean, I get that, but you have to develop some discipline and understanding to what porn seeks to steal from you, and actually look at the real-time effects it will have in your life. Because there are men who, it's very hard coming off of porn, coming off of, even if you're doing semen retention, if you want to abstain from sex for a while, or celibacy, which is even harder because it's not just abstinence, it's actually mental abstinence. You're not even looking at it. And what that does is you're developing discipline to learn how to deal with your energy being high. Being horny is they call it transmutation. It's latent energy that you can use to invest in your hobbies, to expand your mind, develop your body. That's this pure energy that you could do anything to build yourself other than just waste it and be like, for a very quick, immediate gratification kind of thing. You're wasting it. Like, once you're done, you're just sleepy, you're hungry, and you can feel the weakness in your body. And it's not natural for a man to be weak. Men should need to be putting women to bed. Don't let her put you to bed and she's up texting some other dude talking about, like, hey, I'm coming over, because you're asleep and she's still, there. So, I'm telling dudes, don't get used to that. That's why Megan the Stallion and all these thoughts out here talking about they'll call you a trick and you won't get offended, and they'll talk about dominating men in the bedroom. That is not natural. But that's because we're being hormonally attacked by our environment, xenoestrogens, phytoestrogens, all these estrogens everywhere in the chemicals, in the food, the GMOs, the glyphosate. It's destroying your hormones, and then on top of that, no fat is just it's just killing your life force. Like, do your research, but and when you do practice semen retention, just understand your mind and body have to be in sync. You don't want to be in a situation where you're trying to mentally do something, but your body is like a pressure cooker. You want to kind of like, some people have to work out when they do it because you're going to feel a lot of energy that you need to do something with. You're going to have to work out. You don't have to, maybe you have a project, you're investing in a business or starting something new. Use that energy for something. Don't just sit around and don't do nothing and expect to be all right, because you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna add anything that Logic said. I've got multiple videos and streams of me already talking about, what semen retention is, as well as no fap, the pros, the cons. What I wanted to talk about today is, I've been getting a lot of messages about guys because they're going through some of the nightmares, the demonic dreams, the sleep paralysis. So I wanted to get into that. And a lot of people, don't want to talk about that because it's considered taboo or embarrassing. Because all of a sudden now you're not watching porn and you're practicing no fap or semen retention, and now you're having, nightmares, right? I mean, literally, I have nightmares every night, bro. That's not a secret. Or you have explicit dreams of you engaging in adult activity with various women, and some of you guys, even men.
Oh no.
Where you may be dealing with an ex-girlfriend or some girl that you really like, right? And so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to delve really deep into this. And this is, you got to keep an open mind because we're going to delve into some spiritual aspects here. And I just ask that you guys keep an open mind. Logic, going into this, right? Why is it that and I know that I'm trying to find the scripture because that's why I want Logic to talk so I can find it. But why is it that when guys watch pornography, right, and then they become addicted to it to the point that, if somebody in the chat mentioned, oh, well, if you do it in moderation, it's okay. But if pornography is okay, then why do a lot of men feel shame and a sense of low self-worth and depression afterwards?
Well, it's kind of like what I said. You're training yourself you're basically lying to yourself. You're trying to establish a desire for a woman that you're not you're not getting, and even more so, someone else is getting. And subconsciously, that is just not going to. You have to understand that's not the good thing. That's like you jerking off, looking at through somebody's window, having sex while another man's having sex with a woman you're jerking off to. Is very weird. It's like a cuckold thing. That's exactly what a cuckold is that you're jerking off to somebody having sex with your wife or your woman or something. If you wouldn't do that in real life, then you shouldn't do that via porn. But see, porn is real crafty because we kind of lie to ourselves and act like, oh, it's different because it's media. It's a form of like it's on the internet. It's no big deal, but the effects are big. People are really having serious problems with women in real life, and because of that, and from a spiritual standpoint, they call it nocturnal emissions or wet dreams or something, but there's some people think that this is a succubus or some kind of spirit that's jumping on you, taking advantage of you opening that Pandora's box to your mind by watching porn that's not easily shut off. If you notice that they make porn easy. I didn't grow up with porn on the phone and all this. I didn't even have a cell phone until I was grown. But imagine the kids now, they having cell phones at 8 years old. And then depending on what kind of household and family you grow up in, you could be exposed to porn at a very young age. And imagine these kids, just kind of getting immersed in something that they shouldn't be immersed into, and opening that door at such an age and then just getting swept away with it. And it is a spirit when you look at it like that, because it's not natural for it to be in that way. And it takes over you. I mean, I hear people get distracted at work. I've heard people get fired, getting caught watching porn on a job. I mean, look, man.
I remember in college, Logic, there was this white dude in the library just looking at it like he was reading a newspaper, like looking at some porn website. And me and this other dude are like, what the heck is he doing? It was crazy, bro.
Hey,
But
let
that's
me
when
tell you.
you're addicted, when you're doing it in public and you don't even care.
Yeah, you're right, man. Let me tell you the craziest story I heard. A dude ran into a police car because he was jerking off while driving. He ran into a police car.
I think that happened in Minnesota, wasn't it? The basketball player, is that who you're talking about?
It probably happened more than once. This one was in Baltimore, but I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure it happened. I'm pretty sure it's more common than we think, because this addiction is. I
Yeah,
mean,
there was.
how many times do you see people drive with a phone? I've seen people with screens in their car with porn on it while they're driving. Like, how you're driving and people have the TV screens in the car? They literally have porn on. I've seen that before.
Yeah. There was a basketball player. I forgot his name. And that happened to him back in 2006. I believe his name was Eddie Griffin. And he had the TV on and he was watching it, and he got in a car accident, man. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why they now have it in like, remember they used to have the TVs in the front? Well, now
Yeah, yeah.
now you can only watch it in the back. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm
people were
telling you.
getting a lot of accidents. Okay.
I'm telling
So let's get back to this, and I'll share some of my experience here,
you.
and I know Logic, you can too. And a lot of people got to understand, here's the thing: when you watching pornography, you actually opening up a portal and making a covenant with demons, and you're not even aware of it, okay? Because you're watching pornography and you're watching these things. Now, let me explain. Let me get deeper into this, because I really want to rock on this. So hear me out for a second, guys. When you're watching pornography, when you're watching that smut, right? What happens is, first you maybe watch, a guy and a girl. Next thing you know, that doesn't satisfy you. It's like Logic said earlier. Now you're watching two guys and a girl. Then you get to a point where you're watching 10 girls and one guy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You go deeper into it, because
Facts.
what's happening is you're dealing with the spirit of lust, and that spirit of lust never is satisfied. You guys got to understand.
Insatiable.
Yeah, exactly. You guys got to understand that when you're dealing with demons and spirits, they don't have bodies. Okay, so how they get their jollies off, how they get their rocks off, is how you get your rocks off. Okay, and now a lot of people might say this sounds crazy, this doesn't make any sense, but hear me out for a moment. I'm going somewhere with this. Now you're watching this smut, and next thing you know, now regular porn isn't doing it for you. Now you're watching midget porn. Now you're watching porn that doesn't even make sense. You feel me? And you're just getting into this deeper and deeper, right? And then what's
Yeah.
happening is, Logic, and I got to keep it 100. When you have sex with a real woman, it doesn't even feel as good as whacking off, bro, like you do when you watch the porn. And
Yeah.
that's when I realized, yo, something is wrong, because sex should always be better than spanking your Johnson. You feel me?
Well, let me
And
add on.
yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was going to add on to what you're saying. They have an effect. I forget the exact terminology is, but when you go from clip to clip, like, no, when you're with an actual woman, you're dealing with that woman. But when you're on porn, you can go from, okay, I'm watching this, I'm watching that, you can over excite that part of your mind, your brain, with so many different stimulus. When normally with a real woman, there's a focus. But see, now you can just kind of just anything you can think of, you can just go to it. And that doesn't happen in real life. Like the woman that if you want a woman with like bigger breasts or bigger behind, and you can't just change her in the bedroom. So you have to make the best out of what you have. But when you watching the flick, you can go right to whatever you want, and it's not natural for that to be able to happen.
Right, right. And so this is happening, right? while you're doing this. Now, let's say you try to break away. Now I'm gonna give you guys some scripture, man. Matthew chapter 13, verse 25. Okay. Let me read this for you guys. This is one of the reasons why I wanted Logic to rock earlier. So I'm reading the King James version. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Okay. Now, this is one of the scriptures. But Logic, do you want to break that down? Because that's why you're here, man. You're here to break down the scripture, bro. So what does that mean for the cats who are like, okay, what does that mean?
Well, the parable of the wheat and the tares is basically it's basically saying that the father has sown good seed. Those are his children. It's actually a way deeper esoteric than it sounds. And the enemy, which is the Bible, even the wheat and the tares is a very interesting parable because
is it a different verse I was looking for?
Because Jesus actually interprets directly what everything means. That's one of the verses that Jesus himself interpreted his own parable in layman's term, and it's basically about the children of the wicked one versus the children of God. And everybody in this world is not a child of God. It's a very hard pill to swallow to think that people walking around you may not actually be children created by the Most High, by God. It's a hard reality, and look, you can look at the scripture yourself. Look at Matthew 13.
You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I had the wrong verse. I got the right one now. Okay, you ready, Logic?
Yeah, I got you, man. Hey, look, it was a good one to bring up, but let's go.
This one says, and let me read hold on a second. Okay, this is not what I thought. I remember the verse being something about you being in a slumber and then the enemy comes to defile you or something like that. It was a little bit different. If I'm not,
I could try to find that. Let me see.
I think it's a Matthew, but I don't remember the exact verse. See, guys, this is why you should always make sure that you have your research down before. But it's talking about that you were in a slumber and then the enemy defiles you in your dreams, and Jesus actually spoke on that.
Well, I know. Let me see. I know in Genesis, I think it talks about not letting your seed hit the ground, and we know that scripture is in the Bible about your semen should not even hit the ground. It says that is that precious. Let's see.
But while Logic keeps looking, let me continue. So now, what's happening is, do we have any people, by the way, who have practiced No Fap or Semen Retention? Please have one in the chat. But so now what happens is that when you start to dream, you have nightmares, right? And some of your dreams, I don't know. I mean, I'll speak of mine, but the nightmares of you being chased, nightmares of you, just random nightmares or dreams that are very explicit sexually, right? And some of these sexually explicit dreams are very perverted. You're having sex with ex-girlfriends, all that stuff, right? Now, in the dream, they're trying to have sex with you, okay? And then sometimes you wake up and you have a oopsie, you know what I'm saying? Well, what's happening is that while you thinking it's just a dream, you are actually having sex in the dream. Okay? So, like Logic said earlier, when you're sleeping, right? When you break the covenant of that addiction of lust that you're dealing with or fornication or whatever would have you, and you're sleeping, there are entities that are trying to get you, succubuses, right? Now, if you've ever, and I see a lot of ones and twos. When you do Nofap, right? What happens is then you might start to experience different things, right? Not just with how you feel, your energy, the pros, but the cons. Because what happens is now you might still have issues with wet dreams, okay? And these dreams are sexually explicit. And I got to keep going back to that because of the fact that you may think that, oh, well, I had sex in a dream. It was just a dream. No, it's not just a dream, yo. It really happened. It's like Spiritual Logic said, that's why the whole breaking away from pornography is so hard for a lot of men to do because it's so enticing. Logic, is there anything you want to add to that, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's real. You got to realize that when you go into that dream state, when you have lust opened up in your heart, like once you open it up, lust is insatiable, and it's to the nature of, anybody knows that lust without wisdom is bad, because you're like, you can go, lust will drive you to a woman that you don't properly vet. Lust will drive you to a woman that you can't see her agenda onto you. It puts you in a weak position because women have become predatory. Women have weaponized their sex and their bodies for men who cannot control their lust. Let's just call it what it is. They have weaponized that. So if you're a man who doesn't have any sexual discipline or self-control, women are going to entice you. And it could be a woman who actually cares nothing about you. But that's the one weakness that women will count on in a man, that they can allure you with the prospect of sex to get you into a situation they control. That's what they're doing. And on a spiritual level, it's the same thing, because when you're overly lustful, you're not actually aligned with the right principles and values to protect yourself. Like, whether you're asleep, whether you're out and about. I mean, lust is see, people don't realize God is not saying that. He said the bedroom is undefiled, meaning that under a certain structure, lust has its place. But when it's run wild, I mean, lust can get you an STD, lust can get you HIV, lust can get you kids with the wrong woman. Lust can really mess you up. It can even give you sleepless nights because you're so consumed with just sexual thoughts that you don't even have a face to who you screwing. You don't really. That's where the spirit comes in, because you don't even have a face. You just wake up and like, I was having sex, but I don't know with who. And so, you got it.
And I want to say real quick to Mr. Andrews, it's very interesting that you say this comment. So he says, no offense, man. But usually when people start out with saying no offense, then they tend to offend, right? And then he says, but if you're having nightmares and anxiety, then you have deeper issues you need to look at. I will say this. When I was watching pornography, sir, and I was whacking off my little monkey, I had more anxiety and more stress than I do now. Now, when you start, and I'm going off of my experience, right? And once again, you sound a bit dismissive, sir, because what I'm talking about, other men have talked about on YouTube as well. I'm not the first one to do so. I may be the first one in this sector to talk about it, but there are a lot of other videos where men who are practicing no fap or semen retention talk about having sleep paralysis, sir. They talk about having explicit sexual dreams, succubuses, and things of that sort. And so what happens is, right, and I was oblivious to this, guys. Like I said, anybody who's watched my channel before, 11 months ago, I never talked about stuff like this. I never talked about spiritual warfare. Never, ever. Okay? So what happened was, it was, in a way, it was also God showing me what was going on in my life. And I was totally blind to this, that I was being spiritually controlled by, these things that I had allowed into my life. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, and this is how slick these demons are, man, and how messed up the game is. They, to get in a covenant means agreement, okay? They need you to agree. Now, you might say, well, I didn't agree to anything. Well, guess what? Even if you're sleeping and you agree, because when you're sleeping, make no mistake, guys, you're sleeping physically. But spiritually, your spirit is traveling. Your spirit man is out and about. God knows where he be. You know what I'm saying? And so a
Right.
covenant is an agreement. So even if you agree in the spirit world, meaning while you're sleeping, you may wake up and not even realize that you did that agreement, but you did a covenant. You see, a lot of the things that the Bible talks about is in regards to laws. God is a just God. He talks a lot about laws, precepts, and rules. And what
Mm-hmm.
demons and the devils do is they try to get around these rules. And a lot of people then don't realize, why am I having these messed up dreams? Having sex with my auntie, or you know what I'm saying? You having these
Yeah.
messed up dreams, you don't understand. You wake up, you're having wet dreams, you feel ashamed. You think it's just a dream. It's not a dream. There's actually stuff that's going on. And so when you deal with that, right? The science is dismissive of sleep paralysis. Science likes to say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you just sleep paralysis is just an imagination." Well, why do millions of people across the world who are not connected in any way have it? And then when you start to do Nofap or semen retention, why is it that all of a sudden you get to a point where your sexual dreams just increase? Now, I know people say, well, it's because subconsciously you desire sex. That may be true to a point. However, you also then have to look at situations that happen. Let me give them one spiritual logic.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that when I did the semen retention part, because
Yeah.
no fap, sometimes let's keep it real, I was still bunker busting women here and there, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
remember I would get to about day 60 on semen retention, right? And you get wicked, like crazy horny, but something would happen, logic. All of a sudden, I remember it would be like I would have, 20 matches one day on Tinder or Bumble. All of a sudden, I
Right.
would have 5 days, dates lined up for the weekend, and women that were just down to smash. It seemed like
Yeah.
every time I got to a certain day of semen retention, like day 40, day 50, like it was surreal. I can't even make this up. I remember one day I swiped with the girl at 9 a.m. in the morning,
Uh,
and I had my mouth on her, bomb bombs by 9:55 at night. You know, so
let me.
go ahead, man. It's on you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And see, women can see that energy and that glow that men have when they have their strength and their energy preserved in them. It gives you a vitality. Women see that. Women can see the man who's depleted, because trust me, these women are after your strength. And if you notice, like, let's just take a woman that how many times have you seen a woman who's curvy, nice body, nice slim waist, all the stuff that we like, pretty skin, pretty face, and all that. How much does lust make you overlook her character and behavior? A lot.
Facts.
Lust will make you actually overlook the most important thing, because if the woman is an evil biatch, excuse my language, then you're not going to want to deal with her. It does see looks only go so matter only go so far if you can't even cooperate with the woman you're dealing with, or she seeks to steal something from you that's valuable. And it's like guys don't realize that, like, that's the spirit blinding you from the truth. And the same spirit that blinds you from the truth is blinding you from all truth. Lust can distract you from dealing with things in life that are very important. Job, family, health. I mean, some people are jerking off so much they can't even eat. And I know that sounds funny, but it's happening. People are literally, they can't do nothing all day. I've read these stories and I'm like, wow, people are really like 24 hours, and
Yeah,
even
it's
and
probably some of these black pill guys who do that.
and let me tell you something. Even with my own personal struggles with porn, I've caught myself getting to the point where, all right, I don't like this, and I don't like the attention I give it. I don't like none of it, and I just would and it's funny because you get to a point where I don't even it's when you're in it, it's hard to imagine not watching it. But when you actually get to a point where you can do without it, it's amazing, like how you can how you just don't need it. I mean, because I'll tell guys all day, look, man, it is much better to have a real interaction with a woman than just be getting off on porn. Because a lot of guys, especially if you call yourself a religious dude, look, man, if you're watching porn all day, you might as well be having sex. Because on a spiritual level, that is just as sinful as anything else. You know,
You
you
know,
acting like God.
I'm glad you brought that up, Logic. And I do have to interject real quick because I don't want to veer off too far. I want to stick more
Okay.
with nightmares and that's
Okay.
the main thing, the nightmares and the demonic things, because that's what the brother asked me in the email.
Oh, okay, got you.
Here's the thing. And I forgot what you just said, man. Dang.
I was talking about dang, did I forget? It was like somebody in the chat can hear it.
Yes, in the chat remind us. My bad, man. My bad. I'm tired. I've been up since 3 a.m. last night. Shout out to Old Lem with the $5 super chat. He says, Solo, you should check out YouTube of Captain Blackman. This brother talks about No Fap and Semen Retention. Dope topic. Okay, shout out to him. Yeah, I think I'm subscribed to him. We got LFA in the building. What's up, LFA? He says, I thought No Fap and SR was a fraud until I went about a week and women started asking me why I was glowing surreal. Yeah.
Yep. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
LFA.
So basically, yeah, I want to stick mostly to the nightmares and the demonic dreams, because that's what the email I got, right? And the other stuff, no, I'm not trying to take away from that logic, because I know people have questions about that. Now people will say, okay, so well, what is the solution to this, right? What is the solution to the dreams? What is the solution to the succubuses and stuff like that, right? Now, if I knew all the answers, guys, I would write this in an ebook and I would charge you guys $100, right? But here's the thing, Logic. I thought that, hey, if I'm having sex with real women, it's gonna make it go away. And
that's what we were talking about. Is jerking off versus like people thinking that it's not as sinful to jerk off all day versus going out having sex, fornicating.
Right. And so this is one of the reasons why, I have the utmost respect for anybody doing semen retention. And like I said, I mean, I've been doing Nofap now for almost a year, right? September 3rd will be a year. And during the last year, I've gone multiple times where I made it to day 60 in semen retention. And then I just go crazy, Logic. And I cave in and then I have sex with a girl. You know what I mean?
Right.
But here's the crazy part, right? Because you think that when you haven't had sex in a while, right? And I'm not even capping. I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. But you think like, oh, the next girl, bro. Ah, man, your balls are swelled up the size of a coconut, right? You're like, I'm thinking, the next girl that's gonna get this, I feel bad for her because she's gonna be deuced in it, right? And I'm not trying to be graphic, but you're just thinking to yourself, that's not what happens, guys. What happens is, if you don't have control, right? Because it's been a while, you explode, right? That part happens. You explode, and then Logic. It happened to me twice. Literally, after I bust that mean nut, I passed out like for like an hour. It's like my body had to like shut down like a computer, and then like I woke up because it was just so much energy was being released. Right? Imagine like Goku doing the Kamehameha wave when he's fighting against like Frieza or Cell, and then he's giving it everything he's got. Well, guess what? Like, okay, that's one heck of a Kamehameha wave, right? But Frieza and Cell just brush it off and whatnot. And so the point I'm trying to make with this is that number one, some guys think then, well, the dreams will go away and they'll become better. Now that's when I was dating the girl I was dating this summer, the dreams were still happening. But what happens is the enemy is so, and I'm not trying to compliment, but it's so cunning that now when you have your dreams. And some of you guys, when you dream, you don't even remember that your dreams. But what happens is that when you have the dreams, number one, you don't remember your dreams because the spirit of forgetfulness or mindfulness or forgetting is real, bro. Because if you remember your dream, then you would be like, whatever. But there would be dreams I would forget and whatnot. But real talk, just because you're having sex with a woman doesn't mean then all of a sudden, okay, now it's all good. Now the nightmares and the attacks will stop. Because, bro, when I was dating the girl I was dating for the summer and ended a few weeks ago, bro, she would tell me, like, she's like, you were screaming. And I was like, what was I screaming? You were screaming, Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord, right? And I knew she was telling the truth. Like, she would hear me yell this. And I'm like, well, if I was screaming that, why didn't you wake me up? And she's like, I thought you were dreaming, But she would hear me have these dreams, these attacks. Because what happens is these succubuses and incubuses and demons, bro, they waiting for you to sleep, bro. They waiting right there for you. And then after they're done, coercing you and all of that stuff, they basically make you forget. And the reality is that let's talk about solutions logic. Like
I got you. You.
Let's talk about that, because one of the things that is very important is, number one, you got to get rid of triggers. Like, that's what I had to do, bro. I even delete, like, I deleted like personal porn off my computer. I don't have any porn on my computer. I even deleted like nude pictures I had of girls, bro. Like girls that I had smashed or girls that I wanted to. I deleted that. And some of those pictures were like priceless. Facts. And I had to repent. Facts. Like, I had to get into a right place. But here's the crazy part, Logic. When you try to make that, well, we'll get to that later, but Logic, what's your thoughts on how what a solution is to get those demonic dreams and those nightmares to stop when you're on Nofap and semen retention?
Well, it's interesting you wrote the concept of the spirit of forgetfulness, and that goes into what the beginning solution is. The beginning solution is accept that you have a problem. See, a lot of people don't think it's a problem to be addicted to anything. You have to accept that you have a problem, that if you are so addicted to something that you cannot function in everyday life, that you are you're having health consequences. Your self-esteem suffers because you become so introverted into porn until you actually become like you distance in real life. You don't know how to deal with real people anymore. And you have to realize that there's a problem going on. And once you do that, as a man, you start saying, okay, if I have a problem, you start reverse engineering solutions. You start saying, okay, what can I do practically to help me avoid this problem I'm having? So you like you said, you can start saying, okay, if I really see it as bad, and a lot of times what wakes guys up is when they start having real problems. Like if you start noticing that you can't, like, if you realize you're in a bedroom and your thing ain't working, then that usually will wake a guy up. If you want a wake up call, you get a really fine girl and you just having to shut down. He's like, okay, something's got to change. So those are solutions you don't want, because you don't want it to get that bad. But if you reckon, you should know that there's something wrong with you having to look at porn. I mean, you feel it's like, okay, a real woman should be better.
Facts.
Or I can just sit there and realize I need to be alone right now because I have no self-control. Like, it is dangerous just as much as it is in your dreams. It's just the manifestation of nightmares is the same manifestation that's happening during your waking state, when you're so consumed by lust that you're actually wanting a woman that isn't good for you. It's the same manifestation. It just happens deeper on a subconscious level when you sleep. But people do that. You go out there, you see a woman, she's probably dirty, she probably got STDs, but she's half naked, she looks like a whore, and you like still want to hit it because you're so immersed on porn. It's your spirit telling you, your spirit's trying to tell you, man, red flag, red flag. But you're so used to looking at women in that just light until you will actually succumb to a woman in real life eventually in a bad situation. So you have to realize it's very bad and it's very detrimental for your well-being. And you have to have a foundation. You got to have a foundation that gives structure to proper circumstances to which you should be having sex. And because just to be having sex, look, man, in this current day and age, it is easy to get involved in a woman that just wants to get you in some, she'll give you going to swinging parties. You'll start wanting to sleep with two or three women at a time. Women will get you swept up in all kinds of stuff if you let yourself go with them. The next thing you know, you know, it gets ugly, man. And then it's guys right now that got two women pregnant at the same time because they just didn't care. They so caught up in lust, they just didn't care. And you don't want to get that point because the deeper you get in there, the harder it is to find your way back. So you have to have the foundation. If you realize you have a problem, man, for Solo and I, we get in those scriptures, man. We understand that the law that Solo brought up, the law and the commandments, are structure to protect us from the evil that exists in our own flesh. See, I'm honest. I could tell you, I know evil exists in my flesh, but I know that good exists in my spirit, good coming from God. So I know there's a conflict going on. And this is in it's Galatians 5:17 says the flesh and the spirit are contrary to one another, so you don't do the things that you want. You know, and that's Galatians 5:17. The flesh and your spirit are at war. And if you notice that your flesh is not, you can prove just by giving into your flesh without any wisdom which comes from your spirit, you'll realize how evil your flesh is because it doesn't care about right and wrong. It doesn't care about consequences or outcomes. It'll get you in something deep. And the only way you'll know it's wrong is because you'll be suffering. And you don't want to go through that. You always want a preventative route where you have discernment to see danger coming before you even get in it and you avoid it because you can look at a woman and realize, nah, I see what you're trying to do. I see I'm in control of my lust. I have it. You can have high testosterone. You can be a man who loves sex, but you can still be a wisdom and a strong spirit to discern these Jezebels out here because they're looking for men who don't have control. And those same spirits that exist in those women during the day, they disembody themselves at night. I mean, and look, it's trying to destroy us. That's what evil seeks to do: kill, steal, and destroy. That's what the enemy's after. And the most susceptible way, I don't care how spiritual I am, how spiritual anybody is, our biggest weakness is always going to be our lust. It's the one thing I've struggled with the most. I've become more
And
patient.
I can say so have I, and I got to read the super chat because it actually ties into what you're about to talk about or saying.
Okay.
He says, "Do you think you could have avoided the nightmares if you were in a committed relationship rather than casually dating this whole time?" And you know what, man, I mean, we need to do another stream on that, but
Yeah, that's a whole different topic.
we can talk about generational curses, right? And we
Yeah.
can talk about sins and then what the Bible says as well, right? But here's my take. And by the way, I have a link in the description that I highly recommend any of you guys watch. It's by a phenomenal YouTuber by the name of Whitfield Harrington, right? Who talks about this, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so when you're dealing with this, the first thing I did, Logic, and once again, I want to stick with the solution. So let me tie this around and then I'll explain.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on, like I said. So I started to Google things. I was watching Whitfield Harrington, Kevin Love Hewing. I was watching Pastor Stephen Darby. I watched I got Pastor Stephen Darby running on my TV 24/7, bro, if I'm not watching YouTube videos. And you realize, like, for example, I was telling you the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Black Nerd, he mentioned it as well. But when you're like really serious and you don't even have to believe in God. But once you I got to be careful how I say that and pay attention. When I
Right.
say that is when you start no fap or semen retention, guys, something happens. A change happens to you, not just physically with more energy, but mentally you start to perceive things differently. You're vibrating at a higher frequency,
Way
and you
higher.
start to think the way I don't know how to explain it, but the way you perceive information changes. The way you look at the world changes. Anybody
Yeah.
who followed me on Instagram, when I was going through the worst spiritual warfare was between October of last year to like March of this year. That's why if you followed me on IG, you saw me at the gym at 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning every day, because literally the attacks were so bad that I couldn't sleep. So I would hit the gym, then I would drink a gallon of water, and and then I would do intermittent fasting. So what happened is that this lifestyle that was just something I was doing, the Nofap, now it's carrying over in other areas of my life. Now I'm reading the Bible, which if you were to ask me, Solo, when was the last time you read the Bible? I never talk about the Bible. You guys know me. I'm Mr. Snow Bunny, right? But I'm reading the Bible now. I'm meditating. I'm eating healthier, right? It's like a lifestyle change. And so, Logic, going back to this, I know some people will say, well, if you think that it's a spiritual or godly thing, how do you really know?
Mhm.
Logic, I'm gonna let you answer, and then I'm gonna go back because, like I said, I got a lot to say tonight, man. Facts.
Well, what you brought up, you said so many good things, but here's the thing. See, we cut off ourselves from our spirit, which is where wisdom comes from, and we engage in our flesh. We engage,
Facts.
and when we're engaged with our flesh, we're blind to the evil that's going to consume us. We're blind to it. Matter of fact, we love it. We're seeking it. The spirit is what exposes evil. Spirit is what tells you that the consequences of the evil was real. But when you are guided by your flesh alone, you're blind to all that. That's why everybody had a friend that you knew the girl was bad. You knew she was no good for him, but he was just, I want her so bad. I'll do anything you just realize that's a spirit because this guy is ignoring everything that you can see clearly. And they just want this woman that's no good, that's not even treating this guy good. Because think about this. Imagine men out here who are getting married driven strictly by lust. See, lust that won't determine how a woman respects you, treats you. A lot of guys are miserable right now because they entered into a contract with the government, which I'm not doing myself. If you can get, if you want a woman, well, I ain't gonna talk about that. But you don't want to enter into that situation by lust. You have that a woman respecting you and a woman actually how she treats you has nothing to do with lust. Lust is something that is on a whole different platform. I mean, that's automatic, but a lot of men are engaging with women strictly on lust when women are weaponizing that. Women are counting on you being weak. If you notice, when a woman wants to agenda with you, oh, she got the short mini dress coming out, she got the skirt coming out, she got her breast out. Those are weapons to a man who is not awake. Those are weapons, you know, because a lot of women know that I'll get with my way if I just look a certain way. I'll get my way if I just act like, I can. Women don't, they have so little respect for their bodies. They'll give you sex if they get what they want in the end. But while you're doing that, you're thinking because she's giving you sex, she respects you. Oh no, a woman will give you sex and still not respect you, still do a lot of things against you and plot on you while she's giving you sex. Because like I said, in this current climate in society, sex is a weapon for men who are not awake or not spiritually conscious. It's a weapon. And the same weapon destroys you in your dreams. When you're asleep, what's entering your body through your dreams is actually controlling how you're going to move when you're awake.
Speak
And
on that, Logic. Speak on that.
I'm telling you because if you think about when most guys are watching porn right before they fall asleep. So you're watching porn, you fall asleep less than after some $2 whore that everybody's get running through, and then you wake up and you're wondering why. That's what you're seeking. You don't even care about a woman who respects you, a woman who has wisdom to recognize a man with some structure in his life. You're going after the same whore that's getting paid to sleep with men. And then that could be the same woman that you blindly choose to bring in your life. And then you wonder, how did I get in this situation? But you would never make the connection that maybe I was watching porn and manifested the very woman that I shouldn't want.
And that's what I was talking about as well, Logic, earlier. There's certain things that you do in your day to day that you don't realize subconsciously are triggering you and opening these things up. You wake up, the first thing you check your Instagram, and what's the first thing you see, Logic? Some girl bent over showing everything from
Yep.
Monday to Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's the first thing you see. Then you go in the gym, and there's a little snow bunny there running in tight yoga pants, right?
Can he work out in peace?
Right. Then you go to the grocery store and you see a college girl pushing, a grocery cart, and you can see the thong. You know what I'm saying? So now what does that do? And let's be honest, as men, you're thinking hubba, 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 hubba.
Yep.
You're thinking bunker bustering time, right? And by the way, let me just say thank you to Ike for the $52 Cash App, bro. I appreciate that a lot. Shout out to Ike, man. He's really
that's love, man. That's respect.
One of the things, and this is what I've struggled with, but this is something that and once again, don't take my word. I'm not claiming to be an expert, right? And neither is Logic. We're just talking about our experiences as well as what we have read in the scripture. But one thing I highly recommend for guys to do if you're dealing with this is to fast. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens is when you fast, you get you're weakening the flesh. Okay.
Facts.
So when you weaken in the flesh, you strengthen the spirit. Now, when you fasting, don't just sit there and play video games all day. Really get into some biblical reading. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, well, I'm not into the scripture.
All facts.
I'm not I don't believe in Jesus. Okay. But if you are dealing with these things that I'm talking about, you're dealing with nightmares, demonic dreams, sleep paralysis, all of these things, right? And by the way, let me be clear, guys. I want to be 100% clear. No Fap and Semen Retention is not a bad thing. That means you're doing good, right? If you're getting attacked every night, that means you're doing good, because what's happening is the enemy is realizing that you're changing your life. But see, this is how, and once again, I got to be careful, the verbiage that I use. But the devil is so crafty that he'll be like, okay, if that's not working, watch this. Next thing you know, like I was saying, Logic, I'm at work. I have 20 matches. I got 5 girls. Next thing you know, what's happening? I'm still doing no fap, right? But semen retention is out the window. So I'm bunker busting all these girls. Like, whoa, I feel like I'm 25 again. But here's what happens. When you're bunker busting all these women, number one, you fall back into you fall back into doing something that maybe you were trying to get out of. Number two, it doesn't stop the attack, because remember, God is about legalities, right? He's a just God, right? Well, guess what? The devil knows the Bible better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember Logic, when the devil was testing Jesus? What was he using to test Jesus? First, he was using worldly materialism and possession, right? I'll give you the world, blah, blah, blah. And Jesus countered that with scripture. So guess what? The devil, he's kind of like Lomachenko. Okay, that's a. But
let me speak on that real quick. Let me speak on that. What you said real quick.
Okay. I'm gonna let you rock. Like I said, Logic, I got a lot to say today, bro.
I got you, bro.
I'll let you rock, bro. But what happens then is that then the devil switched up and then started using scriptures. So now Jesus and the devil are going back and forth with scripture to scripture. Logic, go ahead, man. I'm gonna let you rock, bro.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to add, because you hitting some, man. You've been knocking out the park. I don't have much to add, but I just want to say, notice that when Jesus quoted scriptures, he was actively obeying the scriptures he was quoting. When he said that man does not live by bread alone, he was actually fasting. When he said it's only the Lord thy God that I serve and only him, that's what he was doing. He didn't just quote it, he was living the scriptures he quoted. And a lot of people just think that you can just throw a scripture out there, but you have to live it. And that's where the Bible becomes real. And that's where it becomes true to spiritual attacks. Not just saying it, but living it. Test the scriptures. Even the Bible tells you to test the spirit by the spirit to see if it's from God, to prove all things. Try implementing scriptural wisdom into your life and structure, and see if it doesn't change the demonic circumstance or situation that you're in. That's simply how you know if the Bible is true. Test it, use it. Don't just listen to people who may be telling you lies in the name of the Bible, in the name of Christianity. That's the Bible doesn't want you to listen to people. Even Jesus said, "Let no man deceive you." There'll be many false prophets and false Christ and all these. These were warnings that Jesus said. So we have to realize you have to implement the scripture in your life when you are facing evil. Evil is a spiritual attack on you. You have to fight that within the spirit. That's we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places and rulers and all that stuff.
Principality.
That's
That's right.
yeah, principalities, all of that. And see, a lot of times, it's like in your deathbed. You could say, I don't believe in God all day. But when you feel death moving in your body as you begin to take your last breath, the flesh is not going to be there to help you. You're going to be praying to that same God you didn't believe in. So
Mm.
don't let it get to a circumstance where evil or death is at the door for you to realize that, oh, now you want God to be here for you, but you rejected him your whole life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. This stream started out with Chadwick Boseman, famously known for his portrayal as Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and of course T'Challa, playing iconic movie roles, has passed away at the age of 42 due to, is it colon cancer? I keep mispronouncing it, so forgive me. And
colon cancer.
Colon cancer. And now me and Logic are talking about, we're having a spiritual show. And salute to Great Expectations with the $10 super chat. He says, salute, gentlemen, introspective indeed. Thank you. And by the way, I'm going to read something real quick, and then I'll let Logic chime in. But people don't have an idea. What we're talking about is considered taboo, right? And I know a lot of people are maybe listening, laughing, and probably the enemy is listening as well, right? What you have to realize is there's a lot of men that are now practicing Nofap, practicing semen retention, something that I urge Black pillars to do, right? And once again, let me clarify. Practicing semen retention is not a bad thing, guys. It's not a bad thing. If you are getting here's the thing. Let me read what Diary of a Black Nerd says. What I realized is while I got what I've always wanted, I lost sight of my purpose. I got way too caught up in women and friends that I was just stuck in a rut of chasing more women. Exactly. So Diary of a Black Nerd, going back to what I was saying earlier, right? When you finally make that resolve to really say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be dealing with that smutty porn anymore. I'm not going to be out there chasing loose women. Guess what? Like I said, the devil is crafty, right? He knows your weaknesses. He's been studying you all your life. He knows your nuances. You got monitoring spirits that know you. They're known as familiar spirits, okay? And so now all of a sudden, Diary of a Black Nerd confirmed what I said earlier. Now all of a sudden, you have 10, 20 Tinder matches. You've got 5 women all of a sudden that want to hang out with you. Next thing you know, you're dealing with 5 women. You're having all types of bunker busting sex and fun, right? And then,
right.
But the reality then is, here's the thing. While you falling back into that, and I'm not saying sex is bad, not at all. I mean, I enjoy it. And look, guys, I still slip up. I'm not going to cap, right? But the reality is that when you make that resolve where you could have pushed yourself to the next level, it's kind of like, once again, I'm using a Dragon Ball Z reference. But remember, there's levels to being a Super Saiyan, right? Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan level 2, Super Saiyan level 3, Super Saiyan level 4, Ultra Instinct, all these different levels, right? What happens is that you, like Black Nerd is saying, you're dealing with all these women, and then all that progress that you've made, you kind of undo it, because then next thing you know, you having sex with all these different women, and then now all of a sudden the women will disappear. That's how it always works, right? Because remember, that's how the enemy is. If he puts somebody in your life, he's going to only put them there long enough for them to destroy you, right? And so these women disappear, and guess what? What happens? Well, your lustful drive all of a sudden is back. That's still there. And guess what? Now, in some situations, you may be worse off than you were before. Okay.
Yep.
Now, let me read this real quick, and I'm going to let Logic rock because I know he's got a lot to say. So, what Logic was quoting was Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. I'm reading the New International Version. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of dark principalities, and against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms.
Facts.
And here's the thing, guys. This is a lot. I know this is a lot to unpack. And then once again, I know with the Chadwick Boseman situation, him dying, but I really felt this is an important topic because one thing I'm seeing is too much of the reason I think why the manosphere is so obsessed with talking about women is because that there are a lot of men, number one, who struggle to get women, which I understand, but there are also a lot of men who are struggling with pornography or sex addiction, other things, right? And we don't talk enough about that. And the thing about sex addiction is it can destroy you. Look at what it has done to some people. I'm not going to reference celebrities, but look at Charlie Sheen. This guy,
oh man,
you know what I'm saying? And the thing is that with sex addiction, right? It's not just pornography logic. It's also sex. It's also tricking. Like now you got guys in male spaces bragging about paying for hookers. Like where they do that at? And that's when you know that there's the men are so deep in their inequity where men are so brazen about now paying for hookers, and then they're trying to brag about it like they got game or they passing it off like, yo, I get bad chicks, but you paid for them. You paid $500 or a stovetop to get that coochie. You bought the chick a stove to get that coochie. You feel me? So the point I'm trying to make is that when you get in such a realm, right? And we've all done something. Look, guys, I've driven 2 hours, 3 hours to another state to get some. I keep it 100. You feel me? You start doing things. And that's what Logic was talking about earlier, is that the lust overtakes you to such a level where now you are you're not chasing your purpose like Diary of Black was saying, but you're chasing after that lust. And you're wasting so much time. How many hours, Logic, have men wasted in a day watching pornography, bro? I can tell you there's been some days where it's just like, man.
And think about it now, where most time people are in their homes. People are in their devices. Just think about what the damage is doing now.
You know, so here's my thing. Once again, guys, if you're dealing with the nightmares, you're dealing with the sleep paralysis, it's part of the warfare, bro. And I'm not going to tell you guys, oh, it's going to go away, but there's certain things that you can do. And number one, if you don't believe in God, but you're being attacked by a succubus while you're sleeping or having sleep paralysis, if you call on the name of Jesus Christ, I promise you, that name, the demons fear that name above all others. Why? Because he's the King of Kings. Okay? Listen, I've called on Superman. Like I've done this as a test. I've called on Superman, Muhammad, Speedy Gonzalez. None of them dudes came. None of them niggas came. I got to keep it real. The only one time is when you call on the name of Jesus Christ, there's power in that name. That's a fact. And when you start to like fast, right? You start to read the scripture, and you really, really make an effort to follow God, then you will notice a change. But also be wary, because at the end of the day, the enemy's not just going to give up. The enemy's relentless. Logic? Remember what's in the Old Testament? It says what? The devil is like a roaring lion walking up and down the earth, or something like that. And I'm paraphrasing.
That's that's in Pete. I think that's First Peter. Your enemy, the devil, is like a roaring lion. Seeking to whom he may devour. Or it says be vigilant or something like that. Yeah. And also I want to add, if you notice that when your focus is not on women, it's typically when women are focused on you. And I'll give you an example. When you're investing in your body, as a man and you're in the gym, you're working out, women see your progress and they notice you when you're not noticing them, when you're focusing and investing on building yourself. Or if you're starting a business and your business begins to take off, your focus is in your business. Your focus, women always will come to you when your focus, when your priorities and your focus are to building yourself. And then once women come in your life and they're able to distract you from all those things that drew them in, you
Your logic, you there, bro?
yeah, my bad. I had
Okay.
forgot. I'm on my phone, so it switches off. But like I was saying, like a lot of guys don't realize that when you're drawing women in is when you're not focused on them. Long and short of it. So all those things that you're doing, when women are able to steal your focus, to divert your attention onto them and not building yourself, business, body, mind, whatever, that's when they leave along with your ambition and your accomplishments that you worked on. And so women are usually trying to steal your focus and your energy. So as long as you're focused on preserving your energy and sharpening your focus on on the prioritizing the right things, you're fine. Women won't see, we focus on women when women are focused on us building ourselves. So keep your focus where it belongs. Women will be there. They're chasing what your focus where your focus is. We're not supposed to be focused on them. They're going to come naturally to us as we develop and build ourselves. And once you maintain your focus and, like I said, no fap, semen retention, fasting, like Solo said, all these things help you maintain your focus. It strengthens your spirit and weakens your flesh. Your flesh is what makes you, a captive to lust, a captive to a woman who seeks to destroy you, but she's smiling in your face and half naked. You know how many guys have been killed chasing some woman into some room and then a bunch of guys jump out and rob them and shoot them or something? Lust can get you killed. I saw somebody say it in the chat, and it's true. It's that serious. You will get tied to a bed and robbed chasing a woman on pure lust. That is real. And now, look, lust can get you a false allegation. Lust can get you harassment charge. We live in a world right now where you see how the system is helping women weaponize their sexuality against men. So we have to be wise and you have to fight this in the spirit. That's the only way you're going to win. You're not going to win fighting flesh with flesh. You can try it. Tell me I'm wrong, but you're not going to win.
Um, Shout out to the unspecialist. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be alert and sober of mind. Your enemy is the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion,
Yep.
looking for someone to devour. Yes, sir. Goat says, yes, I am a porn addict, but I became an addict because I couldn't get girls. And it was somewhat my balance to maintain sanity. Okay. All right, guys. Here's my thing, guys. This is a very, very deep topic, very loaded. I know guys saying, "Hey, Solo, when we will do a panel or this and that." I might do an open panel in the future. You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to bring Logic on.
I
With the
appreciate being here. Oh, and
yeah,
I gotta celebrate, man. Thank you to you, Solo, and very few who actually allow me to be on their platforms and promote my channel. And I've actually made it over 1,000 subscribers. And you know,
awesome.
I just gotta thank you, brother, because I know you. You know, we did some great shows, and I thank your listeners and all those who support you. So continue to support Solo TV, folks. He helps support people like me to promote what I'm doing, and that's respect, that's brotherhood, and you see we bring up biblical, esoteric levels to this, and we talk about issues that a lot of people won't talk about. So support Solo TV. You'll get more good content and different content. So I just wanted to thank you for that, bro. Oh, must be on mute. Can you hear me? Let's see. Hey, Solo, can you hear me? Uh-oh, must be having some technical difficulties. Can y'all hear him in the chat? Hmm. Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties, but let me know if y'all can hear me and I can, talk while we get this together. Oh, you there, bro?
Yo, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can
I
you
can hear
hear
you
me?
now. Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. The computer's being a bit weird. But you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, loud and clear, bro.
Okay. All right. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. You speak of the devil, then he shows up, right? Um, yeah, but guys, check out Spiritual Logic's YouTube's channel as well. I was trying to link that, and now my computer is being goofy. I'm surprised that I'm still able to go live. And I know this topic is very deep. So I highly recommend, guys, that you click on the playlist that I post in the description. Whitfield Harrington is phenomenal on this topic. He's way better read than I am. Highly intelligent guy. And he'll delve deep. It's a 6-part series, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And a lot of the stuff that was confusing, that didn't make sense, Whitfield was able to put it together, because there's a lot of stuff happening, and you're wondering, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And guys, be vigilant. Don't be scared. You feel me? Just know that you, if you weren't doing something right, they wouldn't want to attack you. You know what I'm saying? These
That's the
entities.
main point, y'all. You
Yeah,
wasn't doing something right. So they're trying to steal your purpose, your joy, your peace, everything valuable to you.
right. Yo, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't understand. See, this is what happens. So, guys, just know that, and like I said, don't be scared. Just know that these are look, and I'm gonna let Logic rock on this. Logic, you got to hold it down. But guys, we're living in the last days, and the enemy is attacking harder than ever, and this is evident by what we're seeing. Like, look at what's going on in the world right now, right? With this whole COVID situation, a food shortage coming up. And I mean, look, some people might say, Solo, you bugging, you tripping, but these are I mean, these times, these are not normal. There's no such a thing. There'll never be a normal
Yeah.
again. You feel me? We're living in unprecedented times. And Logic, I'm gonna try to see what I can do with my computer. So if you want to talk, you can twiddle your thumbs for all I care. But let me try this, okay, bro? Hold on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but these are very interesting times we're in. And to tie this into the topic, we need to be more focused. We need to be more disciplined. And the best way to do that is to get away from the porn addiction. Look, I get it, man. We love women. We love having sex with women. I get it. I'm not against that. But just understand that porn is not the way to do it. Porn is teaching you to devalue yourself and overvalue a hoe. Porn is telling us to want a woman that's actively having sex with another man that's not giving us anything. You're lusting of a woman that's not doing anything for you. It's an illusion. And that's another thing. You're training your brain to derive pleasure from something that's not real. On a basic logical level, that is going to diminish your testosterone levels because you're lying to yourself. You want real things to bring real results, real pleasure to your life. Yes, the women are very messed up into these societies, but it's not about them, it's about you. It's about us investing on all levels to be what most have said, the best version of yourself. to spiritually guard yourself against your own evil and the evils in the world that seeks to exploit, manipulate, and control us. Don't be controlled by your lust. Don't let it run you into to marrying a woman that's scandalous, or getting a woman that's scandalous pregnant, or all these things. The system is out here just waiting to clean us up. So just be careful. Protect your seed, man. It is not worth it to impregnate a woman that you're just lusting after. If you notice, these women, they want your seed. A woman will gladly have a baby by you that doesn't respect you because she can gain control over you. It's that simple. So, I just wanted to bring that up and just keep people alert. And like I said, no fap, man, this has real results. We're not speaking hypothetically. This has real results that has strengthened our mind, our body, and our spirits to a level where, women is not even it's not even an issue. We're just proud of the benefits of having more control over ourselves, over our mind, and over our bodies to just thrive and avoid a lot of the pitfalls and troubles in this world. I mean, like, people need to be focused, man. With a food shortage coming up, last thing you need to be worrying about is making some women smile right now. You need to have a plan of survival. And if you're chasing out here, driven by your lust, and you're blind to preparing for what's coming, ain't nobody gonna be having a lot of sex if the world goes the way it could go. Women are actually gonna be around men who actually can survive. We're not going, and this whole playing to ego, that's fair. That's good. That's good times thing. When men can play to a woman's ego, that's what you can do when life is still halfway decent. But when it gets real, it's all about survival. It's all about, do you have a means to feed people, structure to live in, stuff like that. So let's not lose our priorities and lose focus about, the world wants to distract you with all this media. That's why porn is legal. Look, they make it illegal for you to do a lot of things, but you can watch all the porn you want. That should tell you that they want to destroy your spirit because it's too easily to get. It's so easy to watch. So they want you to be spiritually broken. They want you to be mentally weak and unfocused. They put the media in the music. They put it in, they put the women in the music. I mean, we're getting bombarded from so many different levels, and it's all to steal your focus, to distract you from your true identity and your true purpose, which is from God, which is to find Him, to understand Him through His Word, so you can protect yourself from the evil that's in your flesh, and you can reach the destiny that He has for all those who know Him. Because this world will not last forever as much as our lives will last forever. But you want to choose that eternal destiny to make this life and all the struggles in it well worth it. So on that note, I'm good, Solo. It's all on you.
Shout out to Full Circle. Appreciate you, sir. He says, this is totally different Solo that I've not seen before. Thanks, Solo and Spiritual Logic, for the fight against Babylon and giving us scriptures. Yeah, like I said, this journey, probably been longer than 11 months, but the last 11 months, the last year has been intense. And I appreciate all the brothers out here that are talking about semen retention, also putting a spiritual twist on it. They have more weight. There are a lot of good guys out there, not enough though, that are very knowledgeable about this topic, and they're giving good game. But I really, when having experienced the benefits of semen retention and no fap myself, I really, to me, I mean, it's a life changer, right?
Yeah.
But then, like I said, there are going to be obstacles that you have to overcome. Not just stop watching pornography, but yes, it's real. You will come to a point where if you're on day 40 doing semen retention, all of a sudden women will be attracted to you. You will have all of a sudden girls text you randomly, just like now, pictures and trying to entice you. I mean, it's a weird. It's like the paradox of the universe. Meaning, you know, when they say like, if you want something too bad, the universe keeps it away from you, right? But when you
Hmm.
don't want it, it comes to you. That's literally like sometimes what happens. But on the flip side, too, there are evil entities that want to keep you blind. They want to keep you dumb because they want to destroy you. Your sperm has a lot of like Logic said earlier, it's a life force. It's got energy in it. And
Yep.
these entities want to utilize that energy so they can use it for wickedness and among other things. And like I
Facts.
said, guys, I mean, this goes so deep. I've been guys. There's a lot of stuff I've been researching the last year. I don't really talk about because, like I said, I don't just watch red pill content. I watch a lot of financial cryptocurrency channels, a lot of boxing channels recently, along with these spiritual channels, because there's a lot going on in this world. And if you are being blinded by these riots and the politicization of what's going on right now, there's an
Hmm.
agenda going on behind the scenes, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. And I'm not claiming that I know everything or even that Logic knows everything, but look at the food shortage. Me and Logic,
Yeah.
we've been telling y'all.
Yep.
We've been told y'all. And guess what? Now with the new COVID coming up, and when I say new COVID, I mean, with fall coming up, make no
Yeah.
mistake, everything is going to be locked down again. This is to take away like Logic says, this is a way to take your freedom and your rights. And nobody's doing nothing about it. You guys are just like, okay, we'll stay at home. No problem. And guess what? While you're doing that, they're taking away more of your freedoms, more of your rights. Now, I mean, I was in Minneapolis the other day. The other day, I was in Minneapolis, man. And you see a bunch of armored trucks just down the street. And the National Guard is walking with ARs, steel toe boots. It looked like a movie scene. Logic, facts. And this is my own city. And I see them walking down.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
thinking to
real.
myself, you know what? This is probably what martial law looks like. This is probably what the future looks like. It's
Mm.
crazy. I know a lot of people are saying Solo, you bugging, but if you like, bruh, if here's the thing, if you would have told me a year ago that, hey, by the way, you're gonna be working from home and 30% of the country is gonna lose their job, or 15 million or 10 million people are gonna be
Right.
unemployed, and there's gonna be a food shortage, I would have laughed and said, you're smoking too much tree bark. You feel me? But everything now that we've been talking about, and even before Logic, this is something that I've been talking about on Solar TV 84 before with Carl back in 2017. But with the
Wow.
National Guard and the overtaking, right? But
Yeah.
we didn't know about COVID. That was 2017.
Right.
COVID accelerated everything. By the way, shout out to D Rock Den with the 299 super sticker. Hey yo, I love that avatar, man. It's dope. Um, but what people got to understand is like, and I was watching a video that I reposted on Instagram on my timeline by Pastor Dowell. Do you know who he is, Spiritual Logic?
Oh yeah, yeah. I check out Pastor Dow all the time with Straightway Ministry. Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the red pill. Him and Pastor Darby are the most red pill pastors I know, bro. Like I love watching those two guys.
Yeah.
And Pastor Dowell even made a video today about the food shortage. And you know what? Logic, I got to keep it real, bro. I'm not here to fearmonger, bro, but this shit scares me, bro. Because it scares me because a lot of people think that we're gonna go back to what before COVID. That I don't know. That's not gonna
No.
happen. And even if we do go back, it's gonna be a long time for that to happen, man.
Yeah. It's we got to do a whole nother stream on that one.
Oh, facts, facts. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, thank you. I'm gonna leave this stream up. Um, once again to Chadwick Boseman and his family. I my heart goes out to him. The guy seems like a great guy. I mean, he's definitely a
Definitely.
talent, and so may he rest in power. Also, guys, let me know in the comments if you like this type of content. If you want us to make more content like this, this is not for everybody. I know that we had 300 people earlier, right? Now we got 170, but it's all good. It's all
Hey,
good.
but still rocking strong with 170.
Yeah, I think it's the most we ever had on the spiritual show, actually. Facts. So guys, I appreciate all you guys. Please, guys, keep, be alert, be aware. You feel me? Because things are happening. And when these things happen, I don't want people to come 3 months from now and be like solo. No, no, no. I'm telling you guys now, man. And yeah, man, y'all follow Spiritual Logic. His
Yeah,
channel
thanks
will
for the
be
new subscribers. I got a few new subs today, so thank y'all
awesome.
for supporting, man. I'm gonna have good content for y'all, and Solo and I are gonna do some more content. So stay tuned.
All right. And with that being said, we out. Peace.
Peace.